welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. And Joby's here. Hey, Joby, how are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you.
And I want to say thanks to Kith and Ken for coffee today. We've each got our cup.
Thank you.
And there's some scones and some muffins over there. So,
thank you, Rob.
Well, let's talk Pecos Valley Bassmasters. And where did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about standings? Did you want to talk about upcoming tournaments? Where would you like to go?
Let's talk about upcoming tournaments. I have not been keeping up with standings very well, so I do need to do that. I'm glad you brought it up, and I think we actually talked about it 2 weeks ago. That I told you I'd bring in standings, and then I did not. So, but we do have our June tournament coming up this week. We're going to be at a new lake to Pecos Valley Bassmasters at Stamford Lake in Texas, at Stamford, Texas. And so I'm excited about that. Every time we have a new lake, I get excited because never been there and hoping that it's a good lake. We have done some. I think at least one of our members, and maybe more, have fished the lake before. I'm pretty sure Lee Johnson has fished there. But I've heard a lot of good things about the lake. It's a smaller lake. It's one of the smaller ones that we'll fish. A couple weeks ago, I think it's been 2 weeks, when all the flooding was happening in Texas, it's one of the lakes that was impacted. And so it got really flooded. And I know that a local club there actually moved their tournament, which was scheduled, I think, not this weekend we just ended, but a week ago, because due to the flooding. I think the water had got up even over the boat ramps and everything. But Lee had talked to somebody with State Parks or somebody over there last week. He hollered at me and said that looks like it was going to be going down. And anyway, we got to monitor that situation. But if everything is okay, then the plan is we'll fish at Stamford Lake this Saturday and Sunday. It's a team tournament. Anybody out there listening or watching on Facebook, if you have not yet joined our club, you can certainly do that anytime. You can reach out to me, or the best way to get us is to go to our website. And Gene just pulled it up.
Yep.
Perfect. And so actually on the can you go to the home screen, and then I can just tell them, go home. So if you pull up pvbm.club and go to the home screen, right there you'll see join now, I think is what that says, the red button. Mm-hmm. Or join the club. Join is the button you would click. You click on that, and you're gonna populate a PDF, and so fill that out, email it to us, and you can get joined. We'll send you an invoice for the club dues, which are $90, $40 for the club. Pardon my voice. I don't know what I think. Calling baseball games, softball games, maybe he's got me. We've done so many recently, but anyway, you can pay your dues via PayPal. Do not have to have a PayPal account. We'll invoice you, and then you can just follow the instructions there to pay that. But they're $90 to join the club, $40 for Pecos Valley Bassmasters, $20 for New Mexico Bass Nation, and $30 for BASS. So you're effectively, by joining our club, you're a member of all three organizations and can fish any of those tournaments that any of us have. So it's not too late to join our season. We're kind of in the middle of it, but certainly like to have anybody that wants to fish join. And so you can go there, pvbm.club, fill that out, email it to us, all the instructions, where to send it. Our phone numbers are on our website that you might need to call or text. And then our deadline for this tournament is Thursday at noon. To our club members, I actually sent out the email this morning along with the invoices. So all of our club members have those now, and they can get that paid and see the information. But it's a team tournament. It's $150 to enter, and that includes big bass for both days. So we're looking forward to it. We haven't fished since last month. Mm-hmm. So, we fish normally once a month. And so it's going to be an exciting tournament, I think, on a new lake that has been producing some great fish.
So when you say great fish, I guess it depends on the lake and the fish and what you catch, because you're trying to catch a limit each day.
So the limit for an individual tournament is 5, and for a team tournament is 5 fish. So But you have a team. Of course, you got 2 guys catching the best 5 of the day for that team.
Okay.
It's based on weight. There are length limits. The length limit on nationally is 14 inches for a black bass. Some lakes have different. They'll trump that and they'll give their own limits. But in terms of the length that makes a weighable bass, but 14 inches is, I believe, is the limit there. The length minimum at Stanford Lake. And so 5 fish all have to be over 14 inches, black bass or smallmouth or spotted. I'm not sure there's any smallmouth at Stanford. I know it's a predominantly for what we fish for in terms of bass. It's a black bass or a largemouth. Both those terms apply to the same fish species, largemouth or black bass. And I believe that it's predominantly that black bass fishing lake. And when I say been producing well, I've seen a lot of other clubs fishing it. Both I kind of came onto my radar last year. A buddy of mine that lives in Amarillo, that actually from Artesia, went to school with me at WT, West Texas A&M. He fishes a club out of Texas there in Amarillo. I think he's a member of the Amarillo Club, one of them. Anyway, I saw some pictures on Facebook of him and his son that won the tournament at Stanford Lake, and I was like, that was a nice bag of fish. It was like a 20-pound bag of fish, and which is 4-pound average. Great, that's a great fish. And so I'd looked into Stanford Lake. This was last year toward the end of our season last year, which was shortened because of COVID. And found out that it's a pretty good little lake. It's relatively close in terms of what we already travel, and it's new to us. So I brought that up this year when we were working on our schedule, and everybody said, yeah, let's fish it. So that's how we found Stanford, and that's how I found it. And again, I think Coach Johnson Lee, I think he fishes with a club over in that area in Texas, Haskell Club, I think, Haskell, Texas. And I think they fish it. And so I think maybe Lee's fished it before, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But what I understand about the lake is that it's a lot of cattails, which is a lot of our lakes that we fish have cattails, but a lot of the lakes we fish really are rock and shrubs, brush. I think this one is more cattail. So it'll be a little different for us, you know. I'm sure there's some shrubbery and some rock too, but it sounds like it's a lot of cattails, and it's not a real big lake, like I said already, but it should work for us, and looking forward to hopefully catching some great limits.
So if you have more cattails than you do, say, rocks and stuff, does that change the bait? Does that change what the bass are looking for?
You know, it can. It should. It probably does. Probably fish a little differently with cattails than you would on just on rock banks or trees. So, yeah, it's going to change it up some. I think, you know, I've got a bait that I call ELE. I shorten it, every lake, everywhere. And it really does. It's a bait that you pretty much can catch largemouth bass anywhere. But yeah, it's gonna be a little different. Fishing mostly cattails, because you can't really, you know, some of our lakes have a lot of grass, for example, that grows up from the bottom of the lake and comes up to the top, and sometimes is matted on the top. One of our lakes, Breckenridge, for example, which is Hubbard Creek. We've started fishing that 2 or 3 years ago, and it has a lot of grass. And that's different than fishing rock, for example. You might be out in the middle of the lake, big grass mats, and you're punching through that with heavy weight, trying to get down into that grass where the fish are at, living down below. So cattails, I guess you might could punch cattail, you know, throw up into them, but I think probably not. You just kind of fish the edges, maybe pitch up into them, up into the edge. And so a little different, but everybody in the club has fished cattails, so it's not going to be that big of a change, but just a lot more of them, I think. Yeah. A lot more of the shoreline is covered in them.
Now, is that a restriction for boating? I mean, are you supposed to run your boat through the cattails?
Well, usually the cattails are on the shoreline.
Okay.
And bigger bodies of water. Anyway. So we'll be up on them, you know, up on the edge of them, but my ponds at my house, my big ponds, one of them is covered in cattails, so it completely engulfed. I got to get in there and kill them. But at a lake, you know, they're typically on the shorelines, so you got open water. You don't have to fish on the shore. You know, you can fish ledges and creeks and things like that. You know, canyons in the water. You can find those with good equipment. So.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different than
Than Ute
every
or
lake's
Conscious or some of these lakes that have a lot of rock that we normally fish. A little different.
Yeah, well, that's great. So the June tournament is this weekend. It's
Saturday and Sunday, 2-day team tournament. Do not have to have a partner, but we recommend it. And you can have 2 poles trying to catch fish, but that's a $150 entry fee. You do have to be a member of the club, unless we have made an exception this last couple of years where at least one of the fishermen have to be a member of the club. If we've allowed guests to fish one time without joining. So you can do that. If you say, well, I won't be able to fish any of the other tournaments, but I'd like to go to this one. If you can fish with a member, and it's possible we'll have members that need some co-anglers that need a team member. So if you're interested, you're not sure you want to join, but you want to give us a try, please reach out. Go to our website. You'll see my phone number there and email address, and reach out, and we'll see if we can get you into the tournament. That's
good, and that's pvbm.club.
pvbm.club
is the website to go to. And again, that's me. There it is. Got it up on the screen. See, when I started to figure some of this stuff out,
pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool.
And you guys were talking about technology. Technology's crazy. It's so good.
Oh, it's totally different from what it was even 10 years ago or stuff like that. It's just truly amazing what the technology allows you to do, and at the same time what the technology allows us to mess up.
Right.
So which we can do that too.
I have a good opportunity every time I get to call a game for you guys. I can mess up pretty bad if I'm not careful.
Although we've been pretty good and consistent for a while now.
Well, you trained me well.
Well, the only real problem I have is that the software we use to get the audio to the radio station had an upgrade last year, which we have a license for it, and the upgrade doesn't work consistently. And so we keep rolling back to the old version, and I keep talking to the software guy, and about as near as he says, well, can you help me troubleshoot? Well, I don't have time to sit down and troubleshoot. I've told him what's wrong. Apparently I'm the only one having the problem with it. Nobody else is having this problem. And I'm at the point now where my solution, I guess, is to buy about 7 new computers.
Oh, wow.
I don't know that I want to go out and buy 6 or 7 new computers. But anyway, that's my problem. That's not your problem. We'll get it all figured out. Joby, thank you so much. Good luck in the tournament. I take it you're going to be in the tournament this weekend?
I plan to be there. Something happens, I won't. But yes, plan to be there. And then next week, I'll hopefully have a bunch of pictures I can send in, and we can share with the public next Monday morning right here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. All right, and then baseball and softball tomorrow, and you're going to be able to help us out with one of those games tomorrow, so we look forward to that. And then you're leaving me to do Goddard on Friday is what you're doing.
I guess so. you or Robbie.
We can get it done.
You can handle it. I know.
Figure it out. All right, Joby, thank you so much. Appreciate it.